Hame. Hello guys, Adam here from Not Toys Action Figures, bringing you another action figure review, and this week we have another S.H.Figuarts figure. This time we've got Goku. I got Vegeta a couple of weeks ago, reviewed him, really liked him, and you know, when you get Vegeta or Goku, you have to get the other one. They kind of belong together. They're a bit like, you know, cheese and wine, yin and yang. I don't know, as the Americans would say, peanut butter and jelly. Yeah, they belong together. I can't wait to pose them together. So let's get Goku out of this box. And here is Goku out of the box in a very basic pose, but I just wanted to show him off like this because I think, wow, it's like he just looks great. Like, I don't know why I held off so long on these S.H.Figuarts figures, because they just look fantastic. Like, I really loved Vegeta. Goku looks great too. I know this is an older Goku body, so if anyone is watching this who is an S.H.Figuarts kind of maestro and has been around a while, I am new to S.H.Figuarts, especially these Dragon Ball figures. So I know there is a 3.0 body that I'm trying to get my hands on with updated hips, because yeah, these hips are very S.H.Figuarts looking. But yeah, I always think it was because of the face sculpts. Like, I always thought like face sculpts kind of looked a bit off. Like, if you go back and watch my Vegeta Dragon Ball Stars or Dragon Stars figure review, which I'll put a link like up in the corner, there should be a link to. I always thought there the face looked a bit weird, but on these figures they look absolutely fantastic. So yeah, Goku has a few face plates. I have to work out how to take them off first. So let's put him in some new poses and yeah, try out his face plates. Kamehame. So here he is in his infamous pose, getting his Kamehameha ready, and yeah, he looks great. You can see I changed out the face plates there. When we go through the articulation, I'll show you how to do it. It's very interesting how it works. And just interesting how these toy companies, you know, they're kind of getting like more for less, where I feel like back in the day, you would have gotten a few different head sculpts, at least, maybe not with S.H.Figuarts, but with like the Lightning collection, you know, you would have always got lots of different head sculpts. And then they started just doing these face plate swaps, which, yeah, it saves a lot of plastic, but it also gives you way more options to pose your toy in. So he looks very cool here. Let's go through his articulations. Okay guys, let's have a look at some Goku and his articulation. And I didn't say it at the start of the video, but in case you're wondering which Goku figure this is, because there are tons of S.H.Figuarts ones, it is the Super Saiyan Full Force figure. So just as a reference to any of the other figures, yeah, this is, like I said, it's on the older body. I don't have one of the new 3.0 bodies yet. I'm kind of shopping around to see which figure is the best. I know there's like the new Diamond one that came out, which doesn't have him as a Super Saiyan, and I think they are re-releasing a new Super Saiyan soon, so maybe I'll get that. But yeah, this is this figure, and let's go through its articulation. So as you can see here, he does have a big head. It's funny, his head doesn't feel as loose as what Vegeta's does. I did get this figure secondhand as well, so any kind of like weirdness might come from it being an older figure and being secondhand. But his head, you can see he can look up that far back, which is nice, which, you know, as a flying character, it's always good that they can look up. He can look down relatively far. He's got like a nice bit of movement in his neck. So again, like with Vegeta, if he's talking to a shorter character like Trunks or Gohan or Krillin, he can look down. The head itself, it has a little bit of kind of lean and tilt to this side, a little bit of tilt on this side, not that much. Like I said, with the face plate, so what you have to do is you basically take off his fringe here, which is a separate piece, take off the face plate, that is a separate piece, and then you can put a new one in. So we've seen his kind of standard face. This one here is his kind of very relaxed face, where he's not really fighting, he's just kind of talking or messing around. You do have to pay attention here, because it is a bit of a fiddle to get it to line up properly. And a bit like the Vegeta figure, these spikes are very spiky. So you got to just be careful pushing it on, and you want to try and get it back as best you can. This face plate seems to line up better with it than the previous one. The previous one was a little bit harder to get lined up, but you can see that's how you change it. What's kind of cool about this figure, or what I thought was cool, is he's wearing his gi and it's very baggy. One of the slight issues I had with Vegeta is Vegeta has a very skin tight suit, And you can it kind of shows off a bit of the toyness of him, like his shoulders look very circular because they're not really hidden by anything. Yeah, and I was kind of like with Goku, like, oh well, he looks more like a, he has a bit of a nicer silhouette. But you can see on the shoulders, yeah, they do sort of move a little bit out of the way. So when I was doing the Kamehameha pose, moving it forward there with the kind of, it's not a butterfly joint, you can actually see the joint in there. It does, but it's not a butterfly, but it does get forward quite far, which is good for the Kamehameha. But you can see this piece is on actually part of the shoulder, and it does move around. It is a separate piece. But it can end up getting pushed out of the way. So sometimes doing the poses, I had to make sure I pushed it back to not have too many breaks in the pose, because I really don't like breaks. But like I said, it is a separate piece, so it's kind of nice that you can move it. If it kind of comes out like that, you're like, oh, okay, well, I just need to pop it up without moving the arms too much. The arms themselves, they have a nice bicep swirl up there. They have double jointed elbows, which get him up to here, which is past 90, but obviously his biceps are kind of blocking it. You can see there's like a cut within his arm there to get a little bit more space there with the bicep, so he can get it up quite high. His hand is on this the kind of tried and tested S.H.Figuarts ball joint, so you can get a lot of movement on there. It's on a rocker as well, which is nice. It moves all the way around, which is cool. So when you do want to get him into these more intricate hand poses, it will go there. Then the upper torso is on, I think, a ball joint, which is nice. The lower torso, it looks like there is a joint in there, or it might also be a ball, but he doesn't really have much crunch. So yeah, it probably suggest it is more of a ball. And because of the belt is getting in the way of the crunch. So moving forward, crunching him, he doesn't get that far forward. He can kind of like put his hands on his knees, like he's exhausted from a fight. But his crunch isn't anything to, write home back. His bend back is okay, mostly because the neck joint is pretty nice. There again, it kind of it's on a ball, I think. So it gives a lot of movement, which is cool. Down to the legs. So yeah, we have this kind of old school Figuarts flaps, kind of covering up his bum there. These are a little bit of a pain to maneuver, especially because he has thick trousers on. With Vegeta, it was a little bit easier to kind of move. You can see here, you can move the flap out of the way, but then getting his leg back causes a lot of kind of rubbing and friction here, which does kind of limit his articulation and movement a little bit. Like just even trying to get him into what's this called? I think this is called a shikodachi, like a kind of low crouch, is quite hard because there's just so many pieces here all just banging into each other. It's kind of interesting that, yeah, there are so many parts of this leg. Like you can see here, there is a thigh swivel, so you can move the thigh swivel a bit to get it out of the way. So like he probably will sit down, which is interesting. Yeah, so like you can get him to sit down if you wanted to with his legs crossed, but actually really getting him into like a crouching pose, I guess you have to do something like this. So basically I've bent this one all the way down and then twisted the thigh all the way up, so that then he can kind of get into the shikodachi here, which is what I was going for, which is quite cool. So yeah, he can get there. It's a little bit more complicated than it might be with other figures, but I mean, it looks good to me there. Anyway, let's get his legs kind of straightened back out. So like I said, there is a thigh swivel up there. There is a double jointed knee that gets back pretty far. Again, there's quite a lot of fabric here, and the knee itself the knee joint looks very pointy, because yeah, obviously it looks good here, but as soon as you bend it, there's some smoothness, but it's not too bad. But yeah, not the best either. The lower leg has no swivel, which is a surprise, but the foot does have a rocker, which is nice. It goes forward this much, goes back that much, and it does have the toe joint like we saw Vegeta. So yeah, so it's an interesting articulation. Like I said, I know it's outdated. I do want to get the 3.0 body just to see the differences. But yeah, let's put him in another pose. So guys, we are back, and we have Goku and Vegeta here in their kind of like chilled out, getting maybe ready to fight poses here. And these guys look awesome together. Just in case you're noticing a bit of a difference in lighting, I'm actually recording this section of the video like 2 days later at night time from the first section. That's just, I guess, how things are when you have, kids and wives and jobs that, like, I tried to knock out the video in one go and have got paused and just had these two guys stood here looking amazing for the last 2 days. So I finally found some time to get the video or get the camera back out and continue the video. And they do look fantastic together. It's interesting to see the differences between them, like how bright and kind of saturated Goku's hair looks compared to Vegeta. Like Vegeta's hair looks almost sort of washed out compared to it, which is interesting. Also the eyes. I mean, I know this pose, Goku has much more of a sort of bigger eyes, whereas Vegeta's, he's kind of squinting there. But also just how kind of turquoisey green the eyes look. Very cool pose, this one, showing Goku's softer side compared to, Vegeta's, I guess, more cruel or malicious side. Maybe not cruel, but they do look awesome there. They, this kind of iconic, the two of them stood there. Let's put them in a couple more poses together. So here we have Goku and Vegeta sparring together. Got Goku there in kind of an Agyuki block, ready to strike back at Vegeta as he comes in with this sort of high kick. And these guys look very, very cool. It's a little bit hard to get them on the camera because they're quite a big pose there. But yeah, I do really like these figures, especially like with a flight stand now. It feels pretty awesome to just be able to get them into these nice poses and get them sparring off against each other. I just wish my gimbal would go a little bit further, tilt a little bit further up. I need to learn how to reuse it because I'd like to get some facial expressions in here. We can't really get too much, but yeah, if you notice there, I do have Goku's kind of angry face on. One thing I've kind of noticed is how long Goku's neck is. Like his neck feels very, very long, which kind of makes him kind of come across as very kind of slender up in his neck, where you think he should be a bit more muscular. Also, the posing, it is a bit of an art or a trick to get them even into these kind of crouching or this kick. It's a lot of moving different parts around. Trying to move it one in one direction, move another part in an opposite direction to get that effect. And I'm still not 100% happy with how the kick looks. I think it looks better because Goku's there blocking it. But otherwise, I think the kicks, at least the kicks I've been pulling off the last couple of days with the S.H.Figuarts characters, they look more like they're about to score a football, like a goal in football, and actually attacking someone with a martial arts kick. But still, this is what you want these figures to do. You want them to be able to square off against one another. The flight stand definitely makes a difference in making them look even cooler. So let's put them in one more pose and then we'll end the episode. And here we have Goku in his final pose for the video. Here he is floating in the air, aiming down a beam out of his hand there, looking very, very cool. And another cool S.H.Figuarts figure. That's a very hard word for me to say at this time of night. Another one. I do think I prefer Vegeta over Goku, but that might just be my bias because I like Vegeta more. But I do feel like it throws me off a little bit. His head and neck just seem very slender. Like his head and neck almost look like they are one piece, if you know what I mean. Like there's not a lot of chin there. So it does make his neck to me feel very long and slender when I feel like it should be a bit more muscular and stand out. But nevertheless, it's a classic character, right? With the Super Saiyan blonde hair, the orange gi, and the kind of the blue wrappings. He looks awesome. I'm happy I've added him to my collection. Also, the little details on the boots there of the ropes and the red line. It's just a fantastic looking figure. S.H.Figuarts, so you can get him into lots of different poses. It's not the easiest to pose him. There are these very mechanical hips, which do have a bit more of a pain point towards them than Vegeta, because Vegeta's character is a bit slimmer. He doesn't have these baggy clothes blocking stuff. So there is a little bit of messing around you have to do to get him into poses where his legs are wide open or he's kneeling down. But nonetheless, it's a cool figure, and I am looking at, or I have already ordered another Dragon Ball figure. I've got Trunks Boy from the Future, I think it's called. So I'm looking forward to that one because that one looks like a bit of a meaty figure, with lots of accessories and different heads. So I'm excited to get the kind of trio of Super Saiyan classic characters on the channel. And if you enjoyed these videos, do let me know, because I would be open to opening up even more S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball figures. I know there's a Vegeta Diarma one that's quite easy to get hold of in Austria. There's also a Vegeta Super Saiyan one coming out soon. If you're interested, make sure you do hit like and comment that you want to see more. And if you're new, please make sure you subscribe. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.